Alrighty, today we're going to be talking to you about money mindset. Welcome to the Friday podcast with the Five Guys. I'm Dom.
I'm Chris.
Yep. I almost said I'm Chris, you're Dom. It's a bad habit.
It's a bad habit.
It's a bad habit. But yes, no, I am confirmed Dom. This is confirmed Chris. We know this. Driver's license are in wallets.
Yep.
Maybe one of the podcasts we'll do down the line, I know we talked a little bit about it, is like, what's in our wallet?
Oh, yeah. Next week.
Next week.
What's in our wallet?
What's in our wallet? Okay, cool. Okay. Anyway, it's Friday.
It is Friday.
It is Friday.
And this week was a fun one. We actually talked on the Monday pod about a book. So we did a review of a book, not really a review, a summary of a book. And now we're going to do a summary of that book today.
Dude.
We're getting so meta. We're like inceptioning the psychology of money.
I got one way to one-up it. If you want to really join us in the metaverse in doing this, what you could do is take this podcast, drop the link into like some of those like AI like summary readers, and just get the summary of the summary of the summary of the summary. And
then post that online saying your favorite podcast, The Five Guys, provided this to you. Do that for us.
That'd be great. So what did we talk about last week? We talked a little bit about money psychology. We obviously talked about the book. Should we just get right into it?
Yeah, let's get right into it.
So
we talked about the psychology of money mindset, and it was really, I wanted to kind of get away from like dollars and cents and like talking about specific rules. And I know we're not very big on rules anyways when it comes to finance, but I thought for this one of the biggest books that I read that really changed the game for me as a financial advisor was The Psychology of Money. Because I talked about it on Monday's pod, but when I was getting paid as a financial advisor and people would pay me good amounts of money to do financial plans for them, and then a month later they come back to me like, hey Chris, we need to change all of this. And I'm like, well, what happened? What did you implement? What didn't work? And like, we haven't done any of it, but let's change this.
Yeah.
And I noticed that no matter what plan I gave you, even if you gave me the perfect plan in the world, it wasn't going to change anything if we didn't first focused on changing your mindset, changing your mind, making sure that a lot of these people felt like they were undeserving of money. So making a plan that would fix their money problems.
Yeah.
If they're undeserving of money, you're never really going to get anywhere.
No.
So when I read Morgan Housel's book on the psychology of money, and it really was able to bridge that gap of finances and behavioral economics into one cohesive book that made sense to me, especially with my background of psychology and finance, I was like, oh my goodness, my degree finally is worth something.
Let's go.
It only took a decade, and now it's worth something.
Let's go.
So yeah, that's where it really, really helped out. And I think that's kind of cool on the serendipity of life. Sometimes, for the longest time, I looked at my psychology degree really as like an anchor holding me back, or like just like as a waste.
Yeah.
And now just due to like serendipity's chance and like just pursuing the things that I love, which was at first psychology, and then it still is psychology. I love learning about mindset and like why people do what they do. But I was able to even morph that into my current business now of money and like how do we actually bridge these two very strange gaps. And I have degrees in both that kind of work together, which historically, they never did.
It's interesting how life works like that.
It is.
It's like you never know until you need it. And then once you have it and then you need it down the line, you're like, oh, it makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. It was ordained.
It made sense. It all is the way it has to be. I love that.
Yeah.
We also talked a little bit about, different crises, 2008. We talked a little about the coronavirus, a few things like that, and how to better prepare yourself for that. Also, the behavioral education gap.
Yep, and we talked a lot about that. I think the big reason we talked about like 2008, the corona, and all this stuff is because academically, there's a lot out there telling you exactly what to do in these situations. But the hard part is human beings are not rational. We are irrational by nature.
Very emotional.
Yeah, very emotionally driven. And when things are wrong, when there is blood in the streets, like making strange financial decisions all of a sudden makes sense given the circumstances that we're in. So that's where it kind of even goes into the behavioral education gap of, from education, from a behavioral standpoint, they're trying to teach you formulas and charts in order to teach you how to pass a test. But when you're trying to look at, what partner should who's my life partner? How much money should I save? Can I retire at 54 or 55? And what am I willing to sacrifice in order to retire at 54 or 55? Those aren't questions that can be answered on a text or in a test or anything like that. That's a personal decision that you need to make. And the effed up part is there really isn't a right answer.
No. Everybody's journey is different. And I just want to go back to this real quick because some people who watch our podcast, they don't always get the financial references we might say quick question, just a quick little side note. When Chris said blood in the streets,
Oh, yeah.
didn't mean it literally. It's a reference like
Yes,
Warren Buffett,
Warren
what he
Buffett.
talks about, blood in the streets, meaning when the stock market crashes or it comes down, that you be prepared and continue to buy in.
Yes.
Right? And not civil war.
Yes.
But
There is an easy way to avoid
Yeah.
you not understanding what we're saying. That's to go back and listen to every single podcast and then tell your friend about every podcast you listen to. You can do that.
It's a simple ask.
Simple ask.
Simple ask.
If you listen to it at 4 times speed, you can get through it real fast.
I know. That's true. Dude. Do you think they'll be able to understand both of us at 4x speed?
I can't listen to me at 4 times speed.
No.
But to be fair, I hate the sound of my voice. Like, I can't listen to our podcast.
You don't listen to the pod?
I listen to our pod for research purposes only. But
feel
like, watching your own stuff back is like,
It's painful, dude.
God, this guy sucks.
These guys suck. Bro, yeah, okay. No, we're the reviews I've gotten are not bad.
Okay, well, that's good.
Getting on to the ultimate wealth, we talked a little bit about how you have your ultimate wealth, I have mine. I would encourage you guys to figure out what your ultimate wealth is. For me, my ultimate wealth is being free from a boss, being free from bills and not having to worry about, if I can afford, my dream car or dream house or, not even dream scenarios. I mean, buying little knickknacks for the house and just being financially ready for any situation or any direction I want to take myself in.
Yeah. And I think for me, and yours honestly falls into it, and I'll give it in one word, it's autonomy.
Yes.
It's happiness is tied to your autonomy, the ability to make the decisions that you want to make because you want to make them. Where unfortunately, I think a majority of people in this world, their ultimate wealth, their what brings them, which is riches or wealth, it's not tied to autonomy, it's tied to their objects.
Yes, which also ties them down.
Yep. Their
Because
objects
you always have to be working towards
their
them.
objects and their possessions, which there is no one object that you attain. You're like, got it, done, never have to do anything again.
Yeah.
You can never eat the perfect meal, have the perfect orgasm, anything like that. That's something that the Buddha talks about a lot.
Yeah.
But once you're able to have autonomy of your time, that really is the gift that keeps on giving. Because every day you get to wake up, and rather than be fearful that I have to wake up and go to a job that I hate to sustain a life that I might not like, you get to make conscious decisions on everything you're doing. And I'm not saying that money problems go away, because they don't.
No.
And they never will. My wife and I still have to have constant money dates, and we found ourselves in credit card debt while still doing this podcast.
Yeah.
And that's okay. But rather than us having to make the decision of like, it's our money or our life, it's our money and our life.
Exactly. 100%. 100%. Yeah. That Buddha comment. It's powerful. It's powerful. Like you can't, the dinner I had last night isn't going to sustain me for the next 20 years.
Nope.
Yeah, I have to
It
constantly.
doesn't matter how good of a dinner you make or how much money you spend on that dinner.
It was good. Let's get some mac and cheese.
Oh, good for you.
It was good. What'd you have?
Last night, we went to Ramen Hood.
Ooh.
We landed last night.
Little burgers?
No, Ramen Hood. It's a
Ramen Hood?
Yeah, it's down in Scottsdale. I'll take you there one
I
day.
thought you said Robin Hood.
No, Ramen Hood. It's a
I was thinking Red Robin.
it's like a little fancy ramen place. It's really good.
How about that?
It's in Scottsdale.
Is that a part of your ultimate wealth?
Eating out is, yes.
You like eating out.
Yeah, like that's my big love
Yeah.
language is like
Yeah.
going and eating out. I don't like dishes. I don't mind cooking. I don't love cooking,
Yeah.
but like just going out, having someone like serve you. My wife's like, oh, why don't we just like DoorDash things? I'm like, no, I want to go and I want to
not the
sit
same.
down. I want to sit down there.
I want the experience.
I want the experience.
Yeah.
Darn it.
You're like, why would I pay extra to just not have the experience?
Yeah.
Might as well just pay the same price and just like.
And then for me, that's like, it's what are the 3 things that bring you joy in spending money? Number 1 is making memories with people that you love. And for me and my wife, when we go out or even with our friends, that's a memory that I get to have. Number 2 is buying back your freedom. I am buying back my freedom by eating out, by not cooking or having to do dishes or anything like that.
That's
And I
true.
get some leftovers maybe. And the final thing is like, obviously it's paying for others or doing things for others, which I'm not going to do every time I take people to dinner.
Yeah,
but occasionally it does feel baller to put down your card and be like, hey guys, I got this one.
The metal one?
Yes.
Throw it down. Ding, 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 ding.
Yes. Every
Yo.
so often, you like to just grab this bad boy out and
Could we get a throw it on the desk check? Damn. It's cool.
It's loud.
Cool. It's loud. It's very loud. I gotta get me a metal card.
yeah.
I had to get me a metal card. We also talked about how cash offers freedom. Basically what we were just talking about. How, the power of liquidity for crucial emergencies, emergency funds. Some people, like before the COVID, it was like 3 to 6 months. now, kind of adjust.
Yeah.
6 to 12 for you personally.
For me, it's 12, and it's
For me too. Honestly, it's 12. Like,
but also we're business owners. We're a little bit different in that regards. In that, I mean, shit, we could really end up in a situation where we're not making money for like a good amount of time. Yeah. But then again, if the worst came to worst in that way, I always say like I'll go work at McDonald's. Like I'll work an entry-level job if I have to. There's so many people that like say like, oh, I'm too high and mighty for that. Well, guess what? If I'm unemployed and I can't bring in money, then like I'm not good enough for anything because clearly I'm not making money. So like I better do something.
Yeah.
But yeah, liquidity in an emergency is amazing. It gives you that FU money. And I can speak to that from like a personal standpoint. When I left one of my big jobs to like go into finance, everyone's like, do you know who we are? Like, how dare you? And I was like, well, I'm still done. Yeah. And when I left my finance job to start my own company, it was the exact same thing of like, I'm leaving. These are the reasons why I'm leaving. I'm going to go get breakfast with my friend. Yeah. And I'm just going to take a few months off. And that was all came down to the power of actually having cash on hand and coming from a position of power. Yeah. I have a friend right now who is a nurse or the VA. Yeah. And this morning he was helping me out working on something with my car. And he was telling me that like it's very difficult what they put these nurses through. It's a lot of work, late hours. He's working night shifts only, so just like, and
rough.
It's even worse because it's not even like consistent night shift. It's like night shift, then like day off, then day shift, then like night off, then night shift. So like you can't even get into a consistent schedule. No. So he said he recently had a meeting with them and he was talking to them about this stuff. And luckily he's been kind of following this financial independence route. And maybe he's not as deep as you and I are, but he's making the right moves. So when he was telling his boss, like, we have 3 to 6 months to correct this and get me on days or like a more consistent schedule, or I'm going to leave. And his boss was like, I don't think you understand like how good of a job like you have. Like people fight to get to us, like to be here working for us. And he's like, I don't think you understand that I don't need you. Yeah. And that ability to say that is really just all the power in the world. To be able to really make that decision that's what's best for your life, for your finances, for your spouse, for your kids, whatever it is. That's why it's come down to me of like, would I choose to spend money to be there with my family and my kids, or would I choose to maybe have a little bit less stuff, but never have to make that choice and give them my presence in terms of being there for them rather than presence in terms of gifts.
I love that. But it's not all about gifts and physical objects, right? We talked a lot about the allure of more.
Yes.
That's a big thing in today's culture, especially with social media, the rise of social media, showing off your design life, your private jets, your Bora Bora trips, your Louis bags and fancy cars. That's not reality.
No, it isn't. And we really do have an evolutionary route to accumulate more and to show off the things that we have. But unfortunately, those things, they put us into just terrible spending patterns that once you find yourself in that situation and you're trying to one-up everyone else, there's always somebody else out there who's going to one-up you. Even if you're a baseball player making $3 million a year, you've won the game. Like you making $3 a million, but you're focusing on the guy who just signed the $30 million contract. Yeah. But he's focusing on the guy that just signed the $60 million contract. And then he's focusing on the hedge fund managers making $500,000. And that hedge fund manager's like focusing on like Jeff Bezos, who just made $1 trillion. Yeah. And then Jeff Bezos is like looking at Elon, who just did this. And everyone's playing this game tit for tat. Yeah. So at the end of the day, you can choose to play that game, which really there's only one winner, and they're not going to stay on top forever.
Or there really isn't even a winner though. If you think about it, because it's just a comparison. Everybody's comparing against everybody, and nobody's happy. And
I always talk about the trade-offs too, right? So like, would you choose to have Elon Musk's life? Would you choose to have, 6 estranged kids, 6 estranged wives?
It's not my ideal life.
Would you sacrifice all that to have what he has? I sure as shit would.
No, I mean, it's not my ideal life. Like I don't know if I want to be that known. Like I want us to be successful. Yes. Don't get me wrong. But not that successful. Yeah. Yeah, everybody on the planet knows that guy. Yeah. And that's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. Everything you do is just like thrown under a microscope and picked apart 10 ways to Sunday. Yeah. But yeah, the allure of more is just, it's so hard because it really is just the comparison that leads to the dissatisfaction of life. At the end of the day, it's all in your own mind. Because you want the world to be other than it is, and you're comparing yourself to somebody else who doesn't even know they're playing a game against you.
It's true. The mind games are crazy. And these aren't good mind games either.
No.
There's good mind games.
Yeah, you can brainwash yourself to be better and
to be more successful.
to be more successful,
Yeah.
do all these things. But these are the things that are keeping you down, honestly.
Yeah, they really are. They really are. So let's talk a little bit about savings versus investing. I mean, we already talked about it on Monday's pod. If you haven't go watch that, it's pretty in depth. I would go check it out. But we're gonna do a little recap right here. High cost of living challenges, all that kinds of stuff. You know, the more you save, the quicker you can get to financial freedom, financial independence. Interesting. You know, and the impact of spending changes.
Yep.
And the psychology of spending changes as well.
Yeah.
Changing environment and whatnot.
Yeah, remember, like the way that you achieve financial independence, the way that you get good with money is you spend less money than you make.
Yes.
Like it really is as simple as that. Now you can take that to its logical conclusion and say, well, what if I make $1 billion? And that's fine. You can spend just under $1 billion, but like it's going to be difficult to ever retire. But it's totally good to do. But again, it's this simple equation. What you make minus what you spend gives you that gap, which gives you the driver to FI. But we could focus on each side of the equation. But I would say the easier side for people when they're getting started is how much money we're spending.
Yeah.
You know, there's been a lot of times that I've looked at people's budgets when they come to work with me. You know, hey Chris, I make $60,000 a year, and at the end of the year, I feel like I have no money. And we'll look at their budget, and you know, by golly, at the end of the year, they have nothing to show because they did spend all of it. So it's not about like going from 60,000 to 30,000, like how can I cut my expenses by half? But if I ask, what if you don't eat out every day for lunch?
Yeah.
Can you save $25 a week? Oh yeah, I can do that.
Yeah.
They start doing that. $25 a week isn't huge, but then they start looking at that and they say like, oh well, maybe I don't need these Louis Vuitton shoes or purse, or I don't know what Louis Vuitton is. Sorry.
No, you're good. It's they sell all types of stuff. Shirts,
So like,
bags, shoes.
maybe I don't need this thing, and they get rid of that, and they get rid of that, and then do the compounding effect of like these positive attributes. Yeah. Eventually, they are now saving 50% of their income.
Yeah.
But instead of focusing on the end goal, they focused on the journey and loving the journey.
Yeah.
To get them to where they want it to be ultimately.
Yeah, I love that. I think, like you talked about, I mean, the journey is more important than the destination.
Yeah, the obstacle is the way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We talked a lot about, in the last course, about the stock market. We talked a little bit about trying to beat the market, you know, all that fun stuff. You can't really beat the market.
You can on the short term.
Okay.
But this
once or twice?
Yeah, maybe once or twice. And this is the difficult part, is the market would be quote unquote the average. And typically if someone says, hey, do you want to be average? You go, no, I don't want to be average. I want to be above average.
Yeah.
But only in the market is like the average really the best. Like that is the benchmark. That is what you want to be. Yeah. It's not like really the 50th percentile of people are there, because unfortunately most active traders are like bottom 2%. Because we might hear online when you go on YouTube or wherever, you might see the guy who says like, I just made $1 million. Let me teach you how. Yeah. Well, if he made $1 million, why the hell is he on YouTube talking to you about that?
It's true.
Why? And then when you follow down the rabbit hole, he's trying to sell you his course.
Yeah.
About whatever.
Yeah.
To get you rich right now. And there really aren't good ways to get rich immediately.
Yeah.
You know, you can get rich slowly. Slowly is a proven path that will work. But getting rich fast, even if you get there fast, the worst part is you might not even realize, you know, how important money is, and you're going to blow it.
Yeah.
We had a guy write into us a few weeks ago about that, right?
Yeah.
He was making what, $10,000 a day,
oh, yeah.
And he didn't understand it, and he blew all of it, and then eventually the game kind of ended for him, and he didn't stay in the game long enough.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's important to manage your risk and, like you said, stay in the game. You know, the goal isn't to win the game in the first quarter, it's to stay in the game.
Yep. It's all about that longevity part, right? And then there's so much when it comes to the market of like luck versus talent.
Yeah.
You know, some people might get lucky in the stock market. You might happen to purchase the right thing, but due to circumstances completely outside of your control, it went up or it went down. And the other thing is that most people, I would venture to say, and I know this for a fact actually, most people that think they're outperforming the benchmark, that think they're outperforming the market, they actually don't look at the benchmarks. So like, oh, I outperformed. Well, compared to what? Compared to zero, you outperform. But if you went up 6% and the market went up 10%, well, guess what? You lost.
Yeah.
You know, and especially when you start to consider taxes into these things and like all these other factors, which most people refuse to even look at, mostly out of fear, you realize that you're really not beating the market, especially when you think about how much time you put into it.
Yeah.
That was the epitome of like all things for me. how much time I was putting into this was not worth it because I wasn't valuing my time correctly.
No, and it's a risky game to play.
Oh yeah.
It's very risky. It sucks to lose money too. It sucks. It sucks.
But there's so many people that think like, oh, I put my money in this index, Chris, like you told me to, and then next week it's down 5%. Like I just lost 5% of my money. You're an idiot, Chris.
Yeah.
I was like, well, you didn't really lose. Why'd you like? You shouldn't have sold. Like you didn't sell it, so you didn't really lose.
Yeah.
And if you just wait long enough, like I say, and you keep on focusing on your habits, you keep on focusing on making more money, spending less, that money will eventually come back and some.
Yeah. Big facts. That is true.
Big facts.
Big facts. Big facts. New trademark. Every pod, new facts. But yeah, experiencing risk and learning from history.
Yeah.
That's basically what we were just talking about.
It really is. And so many people, you can take like a self-assessment quiz. What would you do if the market was down this much? Blah, 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 blah.
Well, I would buy at the bottom
Yeah.
and I would sell high. It's like, you know.
And it makes complete sense if you were to like look at a chart with hindsight and
Yeah.
be like, I'd buy right here and I'd sell right there, and it's super easy.
Yeah.
You know, I remember talking with a friend of mine about this, and they're like, oh, well, I mean, obviously Amazon was going to work out. Like, I would have purchased Amazon if I was back in the days. Like, there's no way in hell you would have thought this bookstore ran out of a garage in Seattle
by this bald guy.
By this bald guy was going to work.
Yeah.
There's no way in hell.
He had a desk that was made out of a door.
Yeah.
Like, come on. There's no way.
There's no way in hell. But so many people like to think, oh, I would have been able to identify had I just, been a part of it. But no.
It's like there was a million Amazons.
Yeah.
A million internet companies that did not fail. Or that did fail.
And it's the same part of like angel investing. Like you just need to have enough
money in the pool, to just continue to put money into different companies, and 1% of them succeed.
Yeah, so risk tolerance is hard because you don't know who you are till you're in that situation. And then downturns are so challenging because there's so many psychological barriers that are going to get in front of you to stop you from making the right decision. Because if the market's down 30%, it's not because it's just a normal Tuesday and the market's down 30%. It's because there literally is blood in the streets.
Yeah.
And that's the reason the market's down 30%. And now you have to make a decision. I think it's a good decision to buy. I think this is the right time.
Yep. I think it's super important to, when trading or picking investments, is to just take emotion out of it.
Yep. And then to take a broader view of history, of your perspective, and to take you out of it. I mean, I've told you before that I like to study astrophysics because at the end of the day, all of what I think is super important means nothing in the cosmos.
Yeah.
Like nothing.
It means nothing. Like we're like zoom out.
Yeah.
We're not.
Yeah. Zoom out. Wider perspective. Wider perspective. Wider perspective.
We're just like these weird like monkey humans that are just like on a space rock going through space. It's like
complaining that I don't have enough money to pay for
buy more snacks, buy more bananas. It's like, I was thinking about that last pod. I don't know why. I dozed off. Because we have a window here. And, I looked out and I was like, dang. I just zoomed out for a half a second. I'm like, it's kind of funny if there was a aliens watching us. I'm like, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. It's weird.
Well, if you do think about it, you think about if we were all on the Starship Enterprise, I think we'd all be a lot nicer to each other because we're on one ship flying through space, and everyone needs to work with each other to get this ship to not blow up. Well, guess what? That is literally our freaking existence.
Yep.
Is we are literally on a spaceship hurtling through space, and it's only us, and we have to help each other. But instead of that, we're going tit for tat, trying to beat each other on all these stupid metrics, rather than just trying to be a good person and interact with the people that you can and make the best impact with the individuals that you directly interact with.
Yeah. It's true. It's true. God, that's a good one.
That's where I like the broader insights of Five Friday feedback. It's finance is just the second order effect of us talking about random stuff.
Yep. God, I do love Friday pods. They're just so much more relaxing.
Yeah.
They're so much chill. I feel like,
And I get to go down these rabbit holes of I'm kind of working on this in my mind. Let's just throw it out there and see what the audience thinks.
Just see what's at those.
Gonna lob it out there and hope that nothing bad came out.
What's our next segment?
The characteristics of a successful investor.
I love how we go from aliens,
we're not talking about money.
Aliens throwing stuff at the wall and characteristics of a successful investor. Back to business. But a lot of these traits also translate to how you live your life.
Oh yeah, all of life is all interconnected, right? So if you just say I only want to be a good family man, but I'm not going to be good with my money or good at my job, they're all interconnected. Now, can you only be good at your job at the expense of these other things? You can, But that's what I'm saying, that we need to take a wider perspective and say, like, how can I be good in all of these domains?
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about some characteristics. We talked about patience. That's a huge one.
Patience is probably the biggest
The
thing.
biggest one.
There's so many people, due to Instagram, due to TikTok, due to social media in general, that just says, I want everything I want and I want it now.
Yeah.
But wanting it now, that's not how, remember we talked about the compounding effect and how that snowball continues to grow over time. It's not like you go from a snowball and you have this giant snowball.
Yeah.
It takes time for that to start rolling down that hill and to get bigger and bigger and bigger. Same with humans in life. You don't make huge changes immediately. It's all made over time. When I look at myself a decade ago, if I was to go back to being in my young 20s and look at myself now, it would be too big of a gap to jump.
Yeah.
But if I look back at it every single day as just little improvements, now I can see that 10 years ago, that guy who in his young 20s, I'm embarrassed of today. And I hope in 10 more years, when I'm in my 40s, I'll be able to look back at me in my young 30s and be like, I'm embarrassed of that guy.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so true. Yeah, it's true. I forgot what I was going to say next.
I'll bring up the next successful part of a successful investor is making enough bets. Yeah. Having the diversification, which actually enhances returns. Too many people think it's this or this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
this, and it could be this and that.
It should be this and that, and that, and this, and all these other things.
Yeah.
And it doesn't need to be all these other ands. I mean, you could just do one index and that has 500 ands.
Yep.
Or you can do an index and some REITs and real estate investing. I have so many people like that I work with from a financial advisor standpoint. Like, should I do stocks or should I do real estate? And again, the question comes down to, why isn't one or the other?
Yeah, you can do both.
You can do both.
Yeah, because they both have their own advantages.
You can do cash flow, right? Immediate cash flow right now for the real estate, and you can have the long-term appreciation of the stocks.
Yeah, and it's like with stocks, there's less hassle, but with like real estate, there's better tax write-offs. So it's like give and take.
Yep, it's all a game.
It's all a game. It's like Monopoly. I love Monopoly.
I hate Monopoly.
I got a new board for Christmas.
Don't you already have like 60 boards?
I have a lot of boards. Not 60. I got like 20. Maybe like 19 boards.
Okay.
I got a Costco Monopoly.
You told me about that last time.
That's sick.
That is strange.
I also have a tiny little Monopoly. It's like this big. It's really stupid. It's a travel Monopoly.
That's cute.
You should have asked me for it. I would have given it to you for Mexico, just in case.
I'm good.
All right.
I don't need to hate my friends.
A little like Monopoly on the plane.
There's never been a time. It's like that one and Risk are like those games that take so long that by the time you're done, if you lose, you're like, fuck. You just flip the table. And you're like, I'm done.
Oh man.
Final characteristic of a successful investor is that you accept imperfection.
Yes.
Like there's just so much time in that you have to learn from your failures. You have to study resilience and be like, it's okay that things weren't okay. Like that's when you look back at like Warren and Charlie, like they were okay and they were open about it. Like we screwed up here, here, and here. If you go back and you read their shareholder letters, which are available online from like back to like 1962, every year, one thing I love about Warren is he will tell you every single screw up he did, like unequivocally. And he will learn from them to make sure that he doesn't do it again.
Yeah. I think that's beautiful. I think we need to do that with ourselves every day, to find out where we can improve. Yeah, that's really smart.
It's very important. At the end of the day, like, and that's why we've talked about it before, is like, what are you willing to do? What are you willing to give in order to reach financial independence? But what are you also willing to give up? True. And these are the things of like asking yourself, what am I willing to give to be successful? What am I willing to give up to be successful? And that is what you're giving up is the things that maybe you failed at or the things that you aren't good at. What am I willing to, just because you've put so much time into it at this point, should you continue to give something that isn't giving the return? I don't know.
It's simple as that.
It really is.
It really is. We also talked about a few other things. We're not done yet. We also talked about the most essential part of finance. Knowing oneself and introspection matters.
Yeah. So I think in all of life, knowing yourself and who you are when you show up is the most important thing, because there's so many different, like the 50-30-20 rule, all these other darn rules that you can say in finance, the 4% rule even. Yeah. We've talked about that many a times, but none of that matters because it all comes down to you and what you're willing to give up. What are you willing to do? Having self-awareness and then understanding how that self-awareness influences your investment strategy is the biggest thing.
Yep.
So that's not even a financial thing. It's personal self-discovery. It's looking for yourself. It goes back to every single, like this one point, knowing yourself touches on every single other point of everything in life.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I mean, if you don't know yourself, who are you? Mm-hmm. You got to know yourself so that you can make better decisions for yourself.
Yep. I mean, it even goes back to going back to like the peacocking thing of like trying to attain more things. It's like you're doing that because maybe you don't know yourself, because maybe you're not happy with the person that you are. So you think, if I attain these things, I will be happier. If I can show other people that I am better than them with these things, then I will be happier. But that's the idea of the hedonic treadmill. The moment that you attain what you want, you realize that that wasn't really what you wanted.
Or it's not enough.
Because what you wanted was inner peace, which can only be given internally by you accepting who you are unequivocally.
Bing, bing, boom.
You can choose to not play the game. Study philosophy, study Stoicism, study Buddhism.
Yes. You got a few books on us for those topics?
Yeah, anything by
meditations.
Yeah, meditations by Marcus Aurelius, but that might get too deep. I would read anything by like Ryan Holiday. The Obstacle is the Way is really good by Ryan Holiday. I recently reread the Tibetan Book of the Dead, which is really good. For Buddhism, it's a little bit more difficult because it's just more difficult to get into Buddhism stuff. There's a podcast I really enjoy. It's an older podcast. I don't think he's doing it anymore. It's called Secular Buddhism. That's a really good one. Anything by the Dalai Lama is usually good. The current Dalai Lama, Tenzin, I would definitely recommend all that kind of stuff.
Cool. Yeah, we'll have to do more book reviews.
There's a book called The Book of Joy, which is really good. That's by the Dalai Lama and I can't remember this guy's name. He's from Africa and he's like one of the big like religious guys. Very good book. Okay,
yeah, we'll have to take a look at that. So is there anything else you wanted to talk about in relation to last week's pod on, the psychology of money?
No, I mean, I would really just tell our audience, like, if that's something that interests you, focusing on the behavioral side of finance, because I would argue it is 80% of what is good with finance is your behaviors, your systems, your beliefs, not the specific dollars and cents, the specific charts or algorithms or whatever. So pick up the book and take a listen to it. If you want to learn more about it, you can always contact me at Mons on Wealth. This is what separates my practice from most practices, that we are focusing on that rather than just the returns and whatnot. Now, don't get me wrong, the returns are important. That's definitely one side of the equation. But most advisors, they fail that there's also a whole other side of the equation that isn't as easy to quantify, but that's where most of success happens.
Exactly.
Because it affects all other things.
Yeah, exactly. I'm excited for this next segment.
For what? For 5 Friday Feedback?
It's 5 Friday Feedback time. Viewer mailbag.
Let's get it.
Let's get it. Also, I got to say, after viewer mailbag, we got a little win of the week. Oh, some hot air balloons out there. I love hot air balloons.
Yeah.
They're great.
We're very lucky that we live in an area that they just take off and land
constantly.
right here.
Yeah. You've seen this. You've seen where they land anyway.
Yep. I've seen them actually hit a mountain over there once.
No kidding.
Yeah, the basket hit a mountain right over there.
Ooh, that's scary.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. They were fine. They were fine.
But yeah, 5 Friday Feedback, viewer mailbag time. Let's get right into it. Viewer mailbag. Letter, I helped my brother finance a car and now I'm screwed.
Perfect.
Damn. Dear Fi Guys, that is us. Hope you're doing well. We are. I'm reaching out because I'm in a bit of a pickle and could use your advice. Appreciate reaching out. We love when people reach out.
Yeah, we're here to help.
Yeah, absolutely. A while back, I co-signed a car loan to help my brother get his first ride.
Okay.
A 2019. That's pretty new.
That is pretty nice.
It's newer than what I got. A 2019 Kia Sorento. Oh, okay. We got the car mainly so he could drive our mom to her doctor's appointments. I couldn't do it since I was out of state, unfortunately. Things took a rough turn and my mom passed away not long after we got the car.
Oh, dude, that
That's
sucks.
too bad. That's too bad. Now here's the deal. My brother was supposed to handle the monthly payments and the car insurance. We got in a bit of a crappy interest rate, but we promised to refinance after 10 months. That's something that most people don't know. You can refinance a car.
Yeah, you definitely can.
I did not know that.
You definitely can.
Yeah.
Same like the refinancing a house. You can refinance most things, but there's a trade-off.
There's a trade-off.
To do that refinancing.
Okay. Well, life happened, and he lost his job recently, and we had a pretty big argument about it. It's always interesting to get one side of the story.
Yeah, I'm sure.
There's two sides to this. Yeah,
There's always
two sides. We had a pretty big argument about him not being proactive and filling out for unemployment and looking for jobs and whatnot. And now he's giving me the silent treatment. Oh boy. Oh boy. All right. Well, here's the details. 2019 Kia Sorento, about 80,000 in mileage, about 21,000 left on the loan. Okay. But the car's current value is around 14,000. So about 7,000 in the hole.
Most things with cars, they depreciate the moment you get it.
Yep. The car's value has dropped below, and what's left on the loan, and I'm kind of freaking out, and I don't know what this is going to do to my credit, so I regret co-signing big time. I'm reaching out to you because I could really use some advice to do on what to do next. Any ideas on how to get out of this mess without it blowing up in my face? If you've been through something similar or know someone who can help, I'd be grateful. Thanks so much for reading this. Your thoughts mean a ton to me right now. Cheers. Sincerely, my damn brother's car loan has me in a twist of fate, so I'm seeking advice before it's too late. I love the riddle at the end.
Me too.
It's my second favorite part of the day.
And just so you guys know, when you write in, if you choose to write in for a question, you don't need to come up with a catchy rhyme.
No.
We do that for you.
We do that for you. Yeah. But you can.
But you can. We have, a few of them have actually been what people wrote in, but most of them are pretty bad.
Yeah. I'm not that guy for riddles. I'm not that guy. Chris is the one who does the riddles. A bit of a sticky situation. You know, you got family mixed with business.
And that's where it's always difficult.
It's always difficult because you don't want to just cut ties with your brother.
Yeah.
But also, you got a financial future to look out for. And he's kind of dropping the ball big time.
I have very strict rules when it comes to money and family. Like very, very strict rules. I've told you my story already. I'm like,
yes.
We do not come from money, and like a majority of my family does not understand money. My immediate family are getting better.
Good.
So they're good, but not everyone understands it. So my rule has always been, if we're going to be mixing family with money, if I'm giving you money, there's no loan, there's nothing. It is my choice to give you money out of love.
Yeah.
But the moment you start like saying, like, oh, you'll pay me back at this day or whatever, dude, I got Hawaiian family, like they ain't gonna pay you back.
No. They like fly out, come get it.
They ain't gonna pay you back.
They ain't gonna pay you back. Damn. Yeah, we got the money. It's under the doorstep. It's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, just come on over and pick it up.
6-hour flight. I'm not going over there. Damn.
And then you show up. It's like, oh no, sorry.
Your doorstep. Yeah. It's like, yeah. There's more money.
Hey, come back next week.
Dude. Oh, man. Damn. Yeah. So you've got some strict rules. Hey, I'm curious, where did you learn those strict rules? Were you burned?
No, but I've seen my parents get burned. I've seen a lot of things. Even a lot of clients of mine. I'm very lucky in that my job around finance, like I get to teach my clients a lot about stuff, but my clients get to teach me about stuff constantly too, because I get to learn from their mistakes and what they did well too.
Yeah.
Especially working with the retired clients, it's been like a blessing, a very big blessing. Retired clients are a lot more work than younger clients, but in terms of the wisdom that they can impart onto me, even non-knowingly, like even if they're not trying to impart that wisdom.
I find that often as well.
Yeah, I'm just able to gain so much wisdom from them. But yeah, let's get into some of the things that he was asking. So
Definitely.
Number one, like first off the bat, bro, really sorry to hear about your mom.
Definitely.
Like that's really tough for you and your brother, and that honestly might be maybe a portion of what's going on with your brother's side. Is maybe he's like kind of going through some depression, or who really knows? I don't know.
Yeah.
There's two sides to every story, like we said there.
Yeah.
So my first thing I would say to you, for like how to deal with this car thing, is you got to communicate with your brother. I know he's giving you the silent treatment, but like you got to talk to him. I really can't see if there's any way that you can get past it, because emotions are running like super high. There's some conflict in the air. So I think it's important that you be the adult here. We can only control what we control. So extend an olive branch to your brother. I know you're pissed at him. I'd be really pissed too. But we have to try to build a bridge there in order to see if any of these other options I'm going to give you would even work. Because without him, it's going to be very difficult to do really anything. And you did make a choice to co-sign with your brother. I understand there were circumstances. Yeah. But don't be a victim here. Like we made a choice. We have to live with the decisions of it. And your brother's going to live with the decisions too. Yeah. Do you have anything to add on that, like on how to maybe to extend that olive branch to his brother, or like try to?
I think it's really important to keep in mind that family is more important than money in most aspects. I would say that I don't see, this is tough for me because I don't have a brother.
Okay.
I'm an only child. So I don't know anything about brothers or sisters, but I do know a little bit about family. And what I've come to understand is that you shouldn't let anything come in between family, because the most important thing you have is family. Granted, there's no reason we can't call people out when they're making mistakes. You know, we're family, we stay together, but just because I'm calling you out, it still means I want the best for you. Yeah, it's...
So how do you feel about that when someone like in this situation, if we're only going to take his side and not his brother's side, let's just take his side only. If his brother like really doesn't care because his brother's credit's already screwed and like he's trying to like this current brother or writer is trying to like save his own credit and like basically save his brother too.
Yeah.
But his brother's like, I don't care about any of that because I'm already screwed, so I'm going to pull you down with me. Like,
Well,
do you still stick with family at that point, or do you?
I mean, there's a certain point where you gotta like distance yourself from family and like I'm not saying cut ties, but like make sure that they don't have a hold on your soul, you know, and your decision making. But I mean, they have a loan together.
Yeah.
You know, they're legally bound, I'm sure. So for me, selling the car is the only option.
Yeah.
Taking the L and just moving on.
Yeah,
we're just working past it with your brother.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that here in a second. So my first option before we get to the selling the car is let's explore some refinancing options. You know, I don't know what your credit score currently is. I'm gonna have to imagine your brother's probably isn't very good, but it would be worth like calling up a loan officer or like a lending specialist and seeing, is there any way that we can refinance this to get a better loan? Yeah. But you know, first and foremost, we have to talk to our brother and make sure that he's gonna even pay for the damn loan because he could just be like, I don't care about anything. It doesn't matter what you do.
Or just take ownership, take the car back.
Yep.
Got the car for you. Guess what? I'm co-owner on it. Now it's my car.
I don't know if you can do that though.
I'm curious. Well, I don't know. Maybe though. Well, it depends on who the owner is.
It depends on what state you're in too. I don't know what state these guys are in.
I don't know about this. I have a quick question.
Uh-huh.
Is it possible when refinancing, can you refinance to take someone's name off? Like if I want to get my name off of it, to refinance to take my name off of it?
Yeah, but the other person needs to be present. You can't just take somebody off.
That makes sense. Yeah.
That could get dirty.
Get messy.
So I think honestly, to Dom's point, like your least bad option is to sell the car. And like, again, you have to communicate with your brother, but you're going to take a $7,000 hit. $7,000 I think is way more important than like a bankruptcy.
For like 7-10 years?
Yeah, that's like, that'd be what I would try to do is try to sell that car and just get this freaking noose around from off your neck. And now you and your brother can deal with their own stuff, but at least you guys aren't like financially hooked together. And honestly, bro, if I was you, I would just take the $7,000 hit. Like I wouldn't tell my brother like you owe me $7,000, anything like that. You made a choice. This is a decision that you're going to make. I know you made it on all of the best intentions to get your mom to her appointments and to help your brother out. And I'm sorry that this is the way that it went, but unfortunately it's the way that it went.
Yeah.
So I would take that $7,000 hit and just go for that. You know, I think another thing you could do is try to negotiate with a lender. And then if you're doing that, you're just paying for your brother, paying for him to be in that car, and you're just going to take that on. And your idea is just to hope. And just to hope that your brother's going to
get back on his feet.
Kind of, I'm just going to say, pull his head out of his ass. And like,
Gotcha.
You know, and start taking ownership of his life and start working on it. It's really the only other option I can see is that you pay for it and hope, or you have him sell the car.
Yeah. One is an option that you can control, and one is an option you can't control.
I mean, but then again, you can control it by trying to reach out to your brother, trying to get him to see, you know, what this is doing to you and all the other things. And who knows, maybe it isn't anything to him that he cares about, but at least you know you did all that you could. I think that's the biggest thing at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe like contact some different lenders and just discuss the situation. Definitely. See if anyone's willing to work with you. Next thing I would probably do, I don't know what state you're in, but maybe consult legal action, like contact an attorney or a lawyer. A legal professional might be able to give you some of the right insight or options as to what is eligible to you. So I don't know if you can go and repossess the car and sell it back if you're a co-owner in your state. But an attorney could tell you that. So that might be somewhere to look at. Because honestly, if your brother isn't contacting you, or refinancing the car would probably be the best way to go. Repossessing the car would be the best way to go, and then just selling it, even if your brother's like no go. But I don't know if you can do that if you were just a co-signer. I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of a sticky situation, state by state. It's a little different in each state.
And it also depends on the loan agreement
Yep.
Yeah, local loan agreement and local regulations. So that's definitely where a lawyer needs to be involved.
Yeah, it's definitely a little messy. A little bit messy.
Yeah, and then the final thing I would say to you, man, is just learn from this experience. I know it sucks. Like, I'm not going to say that that doesn't suck, but you know why this may be like a really intense situation, and you feel like the noose is getting tighter around your neck, and you know all this stuff is coming to the end. Even if your credit score does take a hit, you know it's not the end of the world. It can come back. I know it takes time to come back, but it certainly can come back. And this decision, you know, I don't know how young you are, but this is something that can really set you up in the future and give you rules like I have rules.
Yep.
That'll help to set up. And then once you have those rules, doesn't mean they're etched in stone and they can never be changed. But having guidelines in life and, you know, quote unquote rules in life is very helpful for me. You know, not that I'm willing to change it, but it's just very, very helpful. So every experience you go through, what can we learn from this experience?
Yeah.
So I hope that you have, you know, good luck reaching out to your brother. You know, call him, text him, Facebook. Shit, if you need to fly out there or drive out there to see him, that might be the best thing is like see him in person because people can ignore you a lot, especially on the phone or via calls or texting. But when you're there in person, I think it'll be a lot better. Like I've had family members who have like been in fights, and the moment they see each other in person, like
it's all love.
It's all love, and then like and then they become it's like none of that even happened.
It's
because it just takes one person to be, oh man, I'm sorry, like I was an asshole or whatever.
Yeah.
But like sometimes it just takes being there in person for that to happen.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think, like I said before, be there for your family.
Be there for your family. You guys have gone through a lot together. You've lost your mom. I don't know where your dad is, but you know if he's your only brother, since I'm gonna assume he is, since you're the only one that co-signed on the car and everything, you only got each other. So
check on him.
Be there for one another. You don't know what he's going through too. We only have one side of this story.
Yeah.
But you know, I wish him the best. Try to get him to therapy maybe to see like why he isn't doing anything. Because you lose your job, like that's a lot, and losing your mom.
Yeah.
I don't know why he's not like applying for unemployment or anything like that.
He's grieving probably.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
So big hugs from Arizona, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yep. Maybe next week we'll get his side.
My asshole brother.
My asshole brother is trying to screw me out of a car. Oh yeah. Right after,
that'd be
right after I lost my job.
I lost my job and my mom.
Damn, bro. Dang. I had to say that. I was sitting on that for like 4 minutes, and I was like, oh, man, wait till the dust settles a little bit. Anyway, yeah.
That'd be really funny.
That'd be really funny. I really hope that happens next week. I don't think it will, but I really hope it would.
I have to imagine if you're his brother, he probably doesn't do a financial podcast.
Probably not, but the chances are not zero.
The chances are not zero.
They're slim, but they're not zero. Let's get on to the win of the week.
Okay, you want to go first or me this week?
I'm going to go first this week.
Okay,
I'm excited.
If you're excited, go for it.
So a couple days ago, I went to the gym. You know, I love my gym. Big fan. We got to go train soon. New gym just opened up.
New gym just opened up. They finally charged my credit card. They didn't even send me an email. They just charged me a credit card.
Bastards.
I know.
I went at an odd time. I went at like 1 o'clock. PM, yeah.
Okay,
PM, yeah. This one's not open 24 hours. And it was packed. Like, good lord.
Sorry if you can hear those jets. We live near a military base.
Yes, we stay ready over here in Arizona. So I went to the gym, right? And it was 1 o'clock, packed. Very busy, very busy. All the squat racks, every single one packed, full. I'm like, damn.
And you're still squatting? You're still doing like free weights now again?
Yeah, I'm doing, you know, the rack. So the whole workout was basically all lower body. So it's going to be squat, deadlift, leg press, and then like this one to help like my lower back a little bit. But yeah, and calves obviously. What's
the lower back one? It's like hip thrusters? Or?
Yeah.
Is it a machine hip thruster or are you using the bar?
Machine.
Dude, those machine ones are so much better. Like when I was younger, they didn't have those when I was like in football and stuff. Yeah. So you had to just put a bar with like a yoga mat and like stick it on your crotch. Painful. I see women do it and I'm like, good for you.
Yeah.
Because those machines now that you can like just put over with a little seatbelt, so much more convenient.
So much better.
It does not kill me.
Like the metal bar is
I feel like I'm gonna get a hernia.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. So I walk into the gym and I'm like, I'll go to the treadmill. I'll warm up on the treadmill. I'll do a mile on the treadmill, incline. You know, I'll wait it out. And I got down on the treadmill. I'm like, damn, it's all full.
Yep.
So I was like, you know what? It's been a while. This is before I started doing like squats and like deadlifts and stuff. I love the leg press machine. It's like my favorite machine. So I was like, you know what? I haven't done a leg press PR in like forever. Not forever, but like
A while.
A while, at least, a month or two. A couple months. And I was like, you know what, let's go. We're going to train legs. We're just going to go for straight, just power strength today. And, I got on there, 120 to warm up, did my 6 presses. And then, I went to 300, did my 6 reps. And I was like, wow,
I'm strong.
I'm strong. And I was like, you know what? I was like, cause like, I think my PR is like 410. So I was like, I'm going to go 400. And like, I didn't. It was like so much weight. And it's just like, I did some reps there. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to go for max weight. I'm going to see what can I do? And I don't know if you've ever done this, but like you're just at the gym and you're just like, there's no way I can move this much weight. There's just no way. It's ungodly amount of weight. And I just like took the pin.
Pin out?
Yeah. And I just like put it at the bottom one, the 500-pound one, the last weight. And I was just like, God, could you help me with this one? This is a lot of damn weight. I really don't want to like hurt myself. I got good form, but like.
Well, you're on a machine too, so there really is no form on a machine.
Yeah. So I'm just pressing, but it's like.
You just don't lock out your knees.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, don't lock up your knees. And I hit this thing. I went to move it, and it was like moving a brick wall. Mm-hmm. It'd be like me pushing your house over. I'd be like, I can't move your house is something. Dude, I got this thing for 6 reps for 500 pounds, and it was so heavy. I got out that thing, and I was like, yeah! I was like, oh man, I was celebrating in my own head. It was great. That's my win of the week.
Good for you, man.
New PR, 500 pounds on the squat, on the leg press.
New PR, and they have that new gym open, so you're going to start seeing me and Dom just get swole on screen.
Huge, bro. We're gonna be like this in the pod. Like, you guys zoom in, like we're just so massive.
We got bigger.
We're so huge.
We got giant.
But that's my win of the week.
That's awesome. That's a good win of the week.
Yeah.
So my win of the week is very, very niche specific. It's so niche specific, I couldn't find anything on it online, on like any single thread.
Okay.
So a few weeks ago, I told you that I recently got a new American Express card in order to pay off Bora Bora, because, credit card hacking and all that good stuff. Yeah. So Bora Bora is very expensive to go to, and if you're going to pay for it, you might as well get some credit card points back. So most business credit cards have very high spend limits, like $10,000 to $15,000 in 3 months. Which isn't always the easiest thing to do for me and my wife.
No.
It's a lot of money. But if we're going to be spending on a trip, we're going to be paying for Bora Bora, which already costs a lot of money, then that's going to be a significant amount of money is going to be going towards that minimum spend that we have to hit. So I got the Amex to pay for it, which I did not think through was that Costco only accepts Visa cards. They do not accept American Express cards.
Oh,
I got the card. I went in there to pay it off. One morning, I was super excited, put it in there, and it goes, this card is not accepted. And I was like, what do you mean this card isn't accepted? This card has no limit. So I put it in again, and then it says, we only accept Visa. And I was like, oh my God, I forgot about the first rule of Costco.
Yep.
You don't talk about Costco. No. different rule.
Different rule.
That's Fight Club. We don't talk about that though.
We don't talk about that.
So of course, I'm sitting there like, shoot, I just got this card. I have to spend $10,000 on this card in 3 months. Can I do it? Maybe. Without this Bora Bora trip, but it's gonna be like tough, and I have to pay for this Bora Bora trip.
Yeah, without putting yourself in a bad situation.
Without. I mean, that's always the game, right? Like if the choice was like don't hit the minimum spend and like pay for the card, then this is a lesson of life, and it sucks, but this is it. So this is a Five Guys exclusive. No one has come up with this on the internet that I have found.
No.
So I thought on this. I pondered this for days, and I was like, what do I do now? So what I ended up doing is I ended up going to like Walgreens. I went to Office Depot. You can get those little Visa cards that you have to pay for.
Oh my God.
So typically you can only load up like $500 on those bad boys. Mm-hmm. So that means I'd have to go into like a Visa or something like that and be like, I need 10 or like
10 of these.
Not even 10. Like 20 of these
$500
cards right now.
Yeah.
Which would be really scary to like drop that kind of money like in a Walgreens.
They're like, are you a drug dealer?
Are you a drug dealer?
This dude is doing something illegal.
It would be a lot of money and also be really scary. Like what if I got them all back and like try to put them in and like didn't work or something like that? I just spent like 20 grand on, oh my God.
Oh bro, that'd be so funny.
Just the worst things.
Next pod, gift card giveaway.
Gift card giveaway. I have so many gift cards.
Oh, it's really funny. Sponsor Mazza Wealth. Yeah, so carry on, please.
So what I ended up doing is I went to theperfectgift.com where that's actually Visa's like card thing. And I was buying 4 $500 cards, increments of $2,000 each. So if you look at my Costco, like how I paid for it, it's like $500, $500, $500, all with different credit cards.
That's hilarious.
So at the end of the day, this experiment cost me an additional $77 because you have to activate the cards.
Yeah.
So it cost me an additional $77. But by doing that, I was able to get the 130,000 points that I needed, I was able to spend the minimum spend to get the 130,000 points that I needed, which is roughly equivalent to $2,600 in value. So I spent $77 to make $2,600 and a little bit of my time and the ability to share this fun story with you guys.
It's really fun. We got a good laugh out of it too.
We did. But I think this is something that's really important when it comes to like FI and all things, especially when it comes to like credit card points and these games that we like to play. Every so often you're going to run up against a wall. And when you run up against this wall, you can either say, this is it, and just give up, or just kind of like, woe is me. That's what my wife said. Like when I hit this, I was very upset about the Amex thing. Like this kind of like ruined part of my day.
Like, I don't even want to go to Bora Bora.
I don't want to go to Bora Bora anymore. This is stupid. I hate Costco.
I hate Costco. Give me a hot dog.
So I'm very upset. But then I thought about it. I'm like, there might be a way to figure this out. So rather than like pushing through the wall, I figured out a way to go around the wall.
Yeah.
So there's always ways, especially in finance. Like sometimes the situation may seem bleak. Sometimes odds are stacked against you in your favor. But there is always a way around it. So that was my big win. So perfectgift.com, a bunch of payments. It only took me like 30 minutes because I would like buy a few of them and then they email you immediately.
I gotcha.
I had to use one email saying like, I am this person, sending it to this person. So like, I am Chris, sending to Monzon.
That's really funny.
It was very funny.
That's actually, I like that really a lot.
we got there, we hit the minimum spend, we paid for Bora Bora.
Yep. I mean, if you get to the destination at the end of the day, does it really matter how you got there?
Yep. I mean, only $77 more to take all that like stress away of like, am I going to be able to hit the minimum spend for the next 3 months? Yeah. I think is worth it.
I love that. I love that. That's a good win of the week.
Yeah, it was funny.
That was a fun win of the week. Yeah. I love that.
I was the whole time I was doing it, my wife's like, just pay for it on a Visa card, Chris. Like, why are you doing all this? And I'm like, because I have a podcast. And if this works out, I have searched the internets for how to do this and no one's come up with a good solution. This might be the thing.
You're like, it's the principle. I set out on a goal, and I'm going to accomplish that
goal. And I
goal.
can tell my audience about it, and my audience would be like, that's a very niche, specific problem, and I'd rather just not get a Amex card if I'm going to buy stuff through Costco. So learn from my mistake that way. But if you already made my mistake like I did, learn from my mistake the other way.
Exactly. It's like, what do you want me to do? Just sit here and pay for it? Come
on. Pay for it with a Visa card?
Yeah. Go away.
Too easy.
This is why I handle the finance. I was kidding. But like, I love that. Creativity wins the day.
Creativity did win the day.
Dude, that's awesome. Oh, man. I really would have loved to just run into you at like Walgreens though.
I think that lady thought I was a drug dealer. So I was in San Diego at the time, and I went there to like, I forgot what I did. I went there to pick up something else. Like, I have to imagine that lady thought I was a drug dealer though, because I was like, hey, I see on this card it goes from like $10 to $500.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah. I'm like, can I put like $10,000 on this? And she's like,
she's like, are you working for Mr. Beast?
She's like, what? I'm like, I need $10,000 on here. And she's like, well, Walgreens only has a $500 limit. I'm like, so are there other places that can put $10,000 on here? And she's like, I don't know. And I was like, okay.
I could just imagine like going home and be like, how was your day, honey? I was like, weird. It's just weird. Some guy trying to buy like $10,000 worth of gift cards. I don't know.
Yeah, $10,000.
Yeah, for like a YouTube video or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then afterwards he buys
a Snickers. I was like, what the hell is that about?
I guess I'll take a Snickers and a Coke. You're not you when you're hungry.
Yeah. You're not you when you're hungry. That'll be $10,002.73, sir. Damn. That would have to be, I would assume, the biggest order in Walgreens history.
$10,000? I don't know what I mean.
Who the hell is spending more than $10K at Walgreens?
I have no idea.
Bro, there's no way.
I went to Staples too and asked the same question.
Yeah.
And I was like, I guess I'll take a Snickers.
Oh, man. Well, that's our win of the week. I hope you guys enjoyed today's podcast. Make sure to like, subscribe, and the fee for the show. Tell a friend, because this is a fun time.
Always a good time with us.
Always a good time.
All right, guys. So we will see you around on Monday for a new pod. We'll be talking about what is in my wallet. And
what's in our wallet?
What's in your wallet? Are you going to do that too? Or you just want
is this a promo
wallet?
for that remember the Samuel Jackson, what's in your wallet?
I don't know what that is.
You don't remember that? I'll show you the commercials later.
Okay.
Anyway, I think it was like one of the credit cards is like their whole like spiel is like, what's in your wallet?
I probably have it. All right, guys.
Anyway, see you in the next one.
Later.
Peace.
This video podcast is sponsored by Monzon Wealth.
The content in this podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be considered financial advice. We do not endorse specific products or services. Past performance does not guarantee future results. The opinions expressed are those of the hosts and guests, not the podcast sponsor.
It is crucial to consult with a qualified financial advisor or professional who can provide advice tailored to your specific needs before making any financial decisions, investments, or taking any other actions. If you are seeking specified help, you can reach out to Chris at monzonwealth.com.